Ashija, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Savita School of Engineering. In this video, we are going to see about Forest Conservation Act. So we can see what's the use of forest. A nation that destroys its soil destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people. Now we can move on to the introduction. Forestry is in India is a major environmental resource. India is one of the 10 most forest-rich countries. Among that, contributed 22% in country's area and contributed 1.7% to GDP. Forest conservation is a practice of planning and maintaining forested areas for the benefit and sustainability for the generations. Scope and application. This act extends to whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir because Jammu and Kashmir has its own state act. The Forest Conservation Act was introduced in the year 1980 and came into force on 25th October. Then historical background. Indian Forest Act of 1927 mainly focus on reserved forests, protective forests and village forests. Then Indian first forest policy is launched in the year 1951. It mainly focused on revenue, preservation of its biological diversity and genetic resources. In 1992, 73rd and 74th amendments give states the ability to provide power to the local panchayats. Forest Conservation Act. The Forest Conservation Act of 1980 was acted to control deforestation. So the penalties for offences in reserved forests. That means no person is allowed to set fire or clearings. Cattle are not permitted inside the forest. No permission to collect any forest products. Protected forests. No permission to do anything for trees which are mentioned in Act. Now we can see the responsibility of an individual person to protect our environment. So acquaint yourself with the laws and rules. Participate in preservation of greenery. Use better ecologically sensitive public transport and bicycle tracks. Do not litter in a forest area. Be a part of the programs which are useful to environment. Non-forest purpose. Non-forest purpose means the breaking up of clearing or any forest land or portions thereof for any other use. So we should not break up the rules or we should not violate the rules. That means the forest area should not be used for cultivation of tea, coffee, spices, rubber, palms, oil bearing plants, horticulture, crops or medicinal plants. Any purpose other than reforestation, but does not include any work relating on or ancillary to conservation, development and management of forest and wildlife, namely the establishment of checkposts, fire lines, wireless communication and construction of fencings, bridges, culverts, dams, water holes, trench marks, boundary marks, pipelines or other like purposes will be permitted, and cultivation of tea, coffee are all not permitted. According to the Rule 3 of the Forest Conservation 2003 provides for the composition of the committee. It says that the committee shall be composed of the following members: Director General of Forest, Ministry of Environment and Forest Chairman; Additional Director General of Forest, Ministry of Environment and Forest Member; Additional Commissioner, Ministry of Agricultural Member; 3 eminent experts in forestry and aligned discipline environment scientist member; Inspector General of Forest, Ministry of Environment and Forest Member, Secretary. So these are the various committee members of Conservation Act. So now we can see the penalty if anyone violate the rules prevailed by the Protection Act. So Section 3A of the Act provides that whoever contravenes or abets the contravention of any of the provisions of Section 2 shall be punishable with simple imprisonment for a period which may extend to 15 days. A perusal of this section shows that The Act contemplates only the punishment of simple imprisonment, and it does not contemplate any punishment in terms of fine. So, imprisonment will be given as punishment, and fine will not be collected. Conclusion. A pursuit of the above mentioned decisions clearly show that judiciary live to protect and preserve the forest. At the same time, it has never been antithetical to the development. In fact, the whole approach of the judiciary is in the consonance with the sustainable development, and thus it must be appreciated. So the conclusion is, please act to that. That means we have to save the forest and we have to save the climate. Thank you.